the difference between a sport and a street fight. It's very simple. A sport is understanding the rules that you're going in. You understand there's a referee, there's judges. A sport is understanding all of the techniques that are available to you, but also excluding all those techniques that you're not allowed to use. A street fight is more like violence. A guy chasing you down the street with a hammer, trying to knock your head off with that hammer. That's violence. A street fight happens not out of respect for each other, but out of fear, out of ignorance, out of all the things that a true sport are not. A sport like mixed martial arts is about two guys who train their entire lives for the honor to compete against each other at the highest level.
Well, I began as the commissioner, the chairman of the New York State Athletic Commission in 1988, and that lasted until 1995, 7 years. And my job was basically the regulation, the licensing of all the fighters and the managers, the promoters, the cornermen, and everything that had to do with the sport of boxing in the state, within the boundaries of the state of New York. And that also included mixed martial arts, which I could have either approved or turned down, and I elected to turn it down in 1994 because the sport that I saw then was not the sport that I see now, the great, rapidly growing sport of mixed martial arts. Politics is keeping it out. It looked like it was on its way. The Committee of Tourism, the first step, had passed it, and then the Senate decided to play some politics, and not so much with mixed martial arts, but with each other. You had Republicans turning Democrat and Democrats turning Republican, and they turned the whole Senate upside down. So mixed martial arts had to be put on the back burner for a while.
This sport isn't a sport that a couple of guys do in their backyard anymore. It's a global platform. It's a global footprint. That's why you're seeing the UFC in Germany. That's why you're seeing the UFC about to go to the Philippines. It's because this sport is safe, it's sanctioned. If you compare it against any other sport in the world, the athletes that compete at the highest level of the sport have college degrees. 80% of the athletes that compete in the UFC has college degrees. If you compare that to any other major sport in the world, it's not even close. These are visceral athletes. These are physical chess. That's what this game's about.
Madison Square Garden, Utica, Syracuse, Buffalo, Albany. Do it, call your representatives. You will make it happen because the politicians run through all of you. Call them as soon as you get home tomorrow, Monday. Leave messages on the machine over and over again. And by 2010, MMA will be in New York State.